Alright, good day to you. I figured I would start doing videos, all the repair work I do. We'll start with my Suburban here. I need to change the rear end oil. This is a 1997 Chevrolet Suburban. LT trim, 5.3 liter engine. I raised it 4 inches, heavy duty bull bar. Since I got the truck, I swapped it with a NV3500 manual transmission. And I'm getting ready to do some other stuff to it, but main reason for this video today is I'm going to show you how to change the rear end oil in your differential, especially with a posi track rear end with a sway bar and everything. Tools you're going to need is a 13mm socket, a couple of short extensions, going to need a breaker bar, 3/8 to break loose the fill bolt. Gonna need a couple other tools to make persuasion. Pan to collect the oil, gear oil for the rear end. Make sure it's limited slip, especially if you have a locking rear end, the posi. If not, it doesn't matter. You can just use normal rear end. I prefer to mix the two together because I like to do some hard driving on it. Make sure you have a fresh gasket for the rear end. You don't need to seal it. Just make sure the surfaces are clean and everything. I have some just assorted cleaners to clean off the rear end because it's greasy. And really that's it. Make sure you have a little pump. It'll make your life a lot easier. Paper towels, keep your hands and tools clean. Now other than that, we can get started. Loose the fill bolt. That is right here. This little plug. Make sure that's broke loose before you drain anything out. You just don't want to have it, like you drain all the oil out and you're going to be in trouble when you go to refill it. Then you break loose all of these in a cross pattern all the way around. And I'm going to take a couple of them out and let the oil drain out, and I'll show you what's inside. Alright, well, just to heed a warning. Kind of dirty here. Alright, just to heed a warning. My truck is lifted. See, I have blocks on here. My truck is lifted, so this job is easy for me because this 42-gallon gas tank isn't in the way. If you have the stock truck, it would be very hard to reach these bolts. It's not impossible. It's just they would be back up behind this here. You'd have to reach in this little space here between the axle and this. You would probably have to raise the truck up. See, I still have to put a different extension on to get to these bolts to take them off. But the main ticket of it is you want to go around, loosen everything up, leave these kind of tight for now. You don't want the oil dripping out just yet. I mean, you can, but you want to get everything loose. Leave these two snug, then proceed to take all of these out, all the way around, and break loose the bottom. Let all the oil drain out. After it's done trickling, you can go ahead and take these off. That's just to keep this pumpkin from falling in there and making a mess. You take that off, clean this up, paint it, whatever you want to do. Clean your surfaces. I'll show you that in a minute. Ready for the moment of truth. I got all my bolts out. And except the very top one, and this one's just kind of attached to this here bracket. It's not holding nothing in. The person before me was kind enough. This is a used axle. My old one kind of blew up. The person before me was kind enough to silicone everything. It's real nasty and ugly. But here's what we do. First, make sure we have coverage for the spilling oil. We're gonna just pry on this a little bit. Here comes the fun. And by the way, this stuff smells like death. If you've ever smelled this stuff, you know what I'm talking about. But if you're about to smell it, this is the worst smell you can imagine. Well, at least from a car. I mean, dead things smell worse, but see how it's just kind of hanging off this here top bolt. It's not really attached to anything, but it's not falling yet because you need, well, I need at least one hand holding this camera. But you just let this trickle out, let it do its thing. stuff's thick. If you drove it like I did, it thins out a little bit. I mean, this is old. But I'm going to let this finish draining. I'll pop the cover off and let you see what's going on inside. I just took it off. So I just got it on the ground there. And here is your setup. Actually, I think this might be an open rear end, so I might have been wrong. But it might be a posi, I can't tell. But see, it's still trickling a little bit. I may have to get back with y'all on the rest of the video, because living in Louisiana, things like to get tropical. And it's becoming subtropical right now. It's raining pretty good. I'm getting damp under here. Lightning and everything, but I might get back with y'all. I may be able to finish, I don't know. We're back. Alright, tropical downpour since I last was filming. I put this back on, I painted it red. I just put the gasket in between there with the thin sealing of RTV on either side of it, just to hold it in place. And to put this back on, you do the opposite of taking it off, of course. But you take the upper bolt on either side and put it through there and through the gasket. It'll make it easier, it won't want to fall off. Then you thread those two in, then you go around the whole thing without tightening, put all the bolts back in. Then once they're all in and finger tight, then you can go through and snug them all up with the wrench. And then it's 33 foot-pounds according to GM, tightening these. Really, that's just as tight as you can get on a little bitty wrench. I mean, it's not going to hurt it to over-tighten. It's just cast iron and steel. Now, we're up under here, refilling. This is the fill hole, by the way. I showed you where you take it off. You just get you one of these little pumps at Pet Boys. They're like $10. Get your bottles of gear oil. It just threads in the top, and you pump it like any other thing. You just keep pumping it until it's ready to run out of this here hole. Or you can just stick your finger in there and kind of feel it. But once that's full, you tighten that back up nice and snug, and you're done. Thanks for watching.
Oh god, grass.